Come on. It is Thursday night. I am Dan Lewis, and this is On the Bywire. Welcome to the show where we provide you with the news you know you can trust. And I know I can trust you to hit that like button, that share button, that subscribe button, that follow button, all the buttons. You know what it is, people. Come on. Now, help us keep bringing you the independent, honest, and the latest news from across the world by making sure that all of your friends know about On the Bywire. Also, don't forget that after the show, you need to head on over to bywire.news. And if you're able to, donate a little satin to the cause. So you can own the media. You know the story. I've told you it before. You don't want them rich guys who don't pay no taxes, living on mansions in islands, owning all the media and telling you what you should be thinking. This is On the Bywire, where we give you the news you know you can trust. Come on now. Woo! What a week it has been, and the weather has kept us feeling good. Now, we haven't secured a weather person for the show yet, so I'm just letting you know to make the most of the sunshine we might get tomorrow, because as far as I'm aware, it ain't looking good next week. Unless you're a fan of the rain, then it's looking good for you, fam. Trust me. Now, before we get into things, I want to take a moment to cover something that happened in Parliament today. It's not often that I get brought to emotions watching politicians speak in Parliament, or let alone about themselves in Parliament. In a debate today to mark Pride Month, Dan Carden MP, one of the most genuine people in the halls of Westminster, gave one of the most powerful speeches I've heard in a long time.
Only looking back now have I been able to accept that in my 20s, I twice nearly lost my life to alcohol, saved only by the actions of others. Drinking was destroying my body. It was damaging me, my relationships, in so many other ways. Because alcohol addiction isn't about drinking every day or drunkenness. For me, it was about losing who I was over a long period of time. It was desperate isolation. It was shutting down my personal life, using a drug, alcohol, to feel better, but ultimately to escape, and giving up on living. I now know it's blighted most of my adult life. Fortunately, I have a mother who would protect me at all cost. A father who's the most generous, selfless man I've ever known. And a brother who supported me through all this without judgment. Yeah. And friends who quite literally saved my life. I'm now in the third year of recovery, and I'm proud of it. Like so many in the recovery community, I am happy, I am healthy, I love my life, I have a wonderful, loving partner, and I appreciate everything that I have. But it took AA meetings, psychotherapy, and counselling to get here. And honestly, to stay here takes commitment and daily determination. I am in a privileged position. I'm all too aware that not everybody makes it. Addiction is fatal if not treated. I've gone from not recognising addiction in myself for so long to seeing it everywhere and doing its worst damage in the most deprived communities. Addiction is killing more people and ruining more lives than ever. It's killed members of this house, and yet we would still rather hide its ugly reality. I hope my openness today can help challenge the stigma that stops so many people asking for help. And nothing would mean more to me than turning the pain I've been through, but that I've put my family and loved ones through, into meaningful change. And I know I have to be authentic if I'm going to do that. Pride is about celebrating who we are without shame. In the end, it's a simple choice. Choose to hide or choose to live. My advice is choose to live.
Please do take the time to go and watch the full speech where Dan talks about his struggles with his sexuality and addiction and the effects coming out about his sexuality how they had an impact on his mental health and his well-being. I have nothing but the most highest of respect for every single LGBT plus person in this world, especially while still facing so much discrimination and oppression. In a world where equal marriage is only legal in less than 30 countries, and in some of those, it isn't actually legal. Like it's a weird, it's horrible. It's not weird, it's horrible. And in over 70 countries, it is illegal to be LGBT plus. In a world where so many are forced to hide or are unable to be recognized as the gender they are, where are we? As a world, where are we? Pride is not a month. It is not a march or a parade. Pride is a protest. Pride is a protest. We will protest until every law is changed, until there is no discrimination, until love is accepted as love and humans are accepted for who they are. I know the viewers of this show are with me on this issue, and I hope that you share this message day in and day out so that we can be allies to our LGBT plus friends and family by being a part of the protest for equality. Love is love. Pride is a protest. I hope that everyone can take the time to watch that full speech from Dan Carden today. And I hope you appreciate me taking the time out in this show just to make that message clear, as it is the end of Pride Month, but it is not the end of the protest. Now over to our independent news coverage. We're flying over to Manchester, where tenants have been invited to join a tenant climate jury. Nick Prescott at the Meteor is covering the first of its kind in the UK. Salix Homes is inviting social tenants to join the jury to consider how residents, social landlords, and others can tackle climate change. The climate crisis is everyone's crisis, and we must act now. And Salix Homes are definitely taking that on board, as in they're acting now. I hope this stays on. It's not just a one-off. The project will focus specifically on retrofitting energy-saving measures to existing homes and accommodating insulation in the least disruptive ways to tenants. The climate jury will consist of 30 tenants at 5 housing associations from across the north of England. First Choice Homes, Carbon Homes, 13 Group, many, many more, all under the Salford-based housing provider Salix Homes. The initiative is being led by the Northern Housing Consortium, a body representing housing organisations in the north of England, and it will be facilitated by Shared Future, a community interest company which specialises in organising citizens' juries. This is exactly what we need to see. I think it is fantastic, and I hope that we see a lot more of this kind of activity in the very near future. And right now, there's far from enough of it. So big up you guys for doing the thing, and make sure you guys head over to the Meteor to check out the full story. Now, open the door to democracy. It's open democracy. Danny Darling from Open Democracy, who is looking at the new report that reveals a stark drop in life expectancy in some of England's poorest areas. So the question here is, why isn't the government prioritizing health inequality? My answer is because the government are a bunch of My producer has advised me to stick to the story and maybe refrain from using the profanities she knows that I will probably use. Seriously, man, if you want to see how serious the government is about leveling up, just look at how little money it has committed to investing in the leveling up funds and the geographical areas it has picked to benefit. The fund is only 4.6 billion. Remember, we were talking yesterday about 106 billion pounds being spent on HS2, yet the leveling up budget is 4.6 billion, or an average, right? This is an average of 37 million for each local authority. Like, there are local authorities that have had hundreds of millions withdrawn from their budgets, yet they're talking 37 million for. Like with most things from this government, they keep talking about doing great things, but continue to use the people of this nation as a big toilet and just dump their shit on us day in and day out. The report comes from the University College London, and it shows that COVID-19 has resulted in life expectancy for men being reduced by 1.6 years and 1.2 for women. This is 25% worse than the whole of England, where it's 1.2 and 0.9 respectively. The figures provided are not surprising, but shocking and worrying for the future of our great post-Brexit nation. You know what it is. Now over to the Canary, where another failing of the government, another one. I feel like my job is just to report on how bad the government are doing at the moment. Now, another failing of the government is laid bare in our schools. Poorest schools in England are facing terrible outcomes from the latest Tory funding formula, which many opposed, including the National Education Union. Join a union. Listen, I'm always going to put that in there. If you ain't a member, join a union, because the people make the union, and without the people, there is no union. Now, the National Audit Office said that since 2017 to 18, average per pupil funding for the most deprived fifth of schools has fallen in real terms by 1.2% to £5,177, while for the least deprived fifth, it has risen by 2.9% to £4,471. Now, like, seriously, one of the big things that I always remember people saying day in and day out as a child to me and to my peers in school and wherever is that you're the future. You're the ones who are going to be leading this nation. You're going to be innovating, the innovators of the future, all of this kind of stuff. Right now, I don't think that kids can feel like they are our future. I don't feel like they can feel like we're investing in them. I genuinely feel like we're at a state at the moment where we're telling children it's like survival of the fittest. Look, if you can't get through this, give up now, because we're not going to look after you later on. That's the message I genuinely feel like this government are giving to our children. I do everything in my life to encourage my daughter and the kids around her to do more, do better. And I do everything to help them do more and do better, whether it's in education or anything at all, sports, life, or just, general mental health, trying to support kids. I don't know about you guys, but if you've ever tried to look into getting extra support for children now, it only costs money. And when you do pay for it, you're not guaranteed good quality. The government are ruining our future, not just ours, our kids' future, everyone's future. Something needs to be done about it. And if you want the facts on it, head over to the Canary and read the report there. It is shocking. Again, I need to watch my profanities. Now, surprise, surprise, in Byline Times, they have uncovered that the Department of Health and Social Care have failed to declare 27 meetings held by the Health Minister Lord James Bethell at the outset of the coronavirus pandemic. Bum, bum, bum. It's one of them, innit, man? Like, I'm not... Surprise, surprise, shock, shock. What is it? The companies involved in these meetings went on to acquire public sector contracts. Wait for it, 1.14 billion. This kind of money is the money we don't see in our lives. But these guys, hey. Sam Bright at Byline Times has provided us with another in-depth look into activities of government officials. Lord Bethell has been coming under increasing pressure in recent days due to his ministerial contacts. The health minister, who is a close ally of now departed Health and Social Care Secretary Matt Hancock, less said about that, brother, has come under fire for his use of private emails for government business. This last 2 weeks, we've uncovered so much. Well, I say we, Byline Times, Declassified, all the Canary, all the independent partners that we work with and that we share their news stories. They have been uncovering time and time again, corruption under corruption under corruption over corruption over corruption. It's just constant. It's unbelievable. Using post-it notes to avoid freedom of information requests, using departments, UK taxpayers' money to redact information from government documents, hiding documents, losing documents, just constantly messing with public money and lying to the public. Surely people are going to get angry soon enough, no? I'm sure people must be angry, especially when it is our health. Right now, while we're facing a continuation of an international pandemic, which in the UK, let's be honest, hasn't been handled the best. And at the same time, the one institution in our nation that we should be able to rely on is being torn apart and sold off to private companies in America, Branson on his island in the Bahamas, who are then suing the government or suing the NHS because the NHS is just trying to save people's lives. Now, before I get too angry, I'm going to bring in a good friend of the show and a friend of mine, Karen Woolrich. Thank you so much for joining us today. Oh, we went a bit crazy there. Thank you so much for joining us today, because this weekend is the, I was going to say anniversary. It's the birthday of our beloved National Health Service, 73 years old. And rather than having parties and I think I saw there's one where it's raise a mug for the NHS. I was like, no, I would rather raise their wages. Like, but you're involved in Merseyside in some of the action that's going on. So thank you so much for coming on the show this evening. Could you tell us more about what's happening for the NHS's 73rd birthday this weekend?
Thanks for inviting me, Dan. Absolutely my pleasure to come on and speak to you all. So basically, we're part of a new group called Nurses United, and we've linked up with Keep Our NHS Public during the NHS, as you've already mentioned, 73rd birthday. But unfortunately, in celebrating our nurses and appreciating all our healthcare workers, we're having to struggle and fight for a decent pay rise. Over the past 10 years in austerity, our pay has declined by 20%, and we're starting to feel the money is really getting quite tight now and really quite serious, where we're all starting to think, is this really worth it? We've been so stretched over the past 16 months. We've pulled out all the stops. Overtime is becoming the norm now, extra shifts, bank shifts, NHS professionals. It's just a way of life now to actually make ends meet. And the burnout in the NHS is so serious now that staff are seriously thinking, well, is all this hassle worth my health? And, because we're not getting paid properly as well. So this coming Saturday, it is a national campaign, but there's numerous regional campaigns going on all over the place. If you go on to NHS Workers Say No Facebook, you'll get all the details and all the regional demonstrations. So in Liverpool at 11 o'clock, as it is nationally, we are kicking off with Nurses United with their pay campaign for 15%. We'd like all the unions to take this up. GMB have taken it up. Unite have said they are taking it up, but on the ground they're not really doing a great deal. So it's left to nurses who are already exhausted to canvass the local hospitals and speak to the staff. And many years ago, it was unthinkable for staff to take strike action, but now it's now or never. Basically, we need to stand up and show everyone how angry we are and how concerned we are as well. I mean, it's really tricky being a nurse and an activist as well, because you don't want to be going around frightening people, but people need to wake up and realise what's going on. And if this health white paper goes through, that's it. That's finished. Your NHS has gone. It's gone to what the American corporations and all the I can't say that word. All
Conglomerates,
the
yeah.
thanks, Dan. Night brain, you see. You shouldn't let me on after a night shift. And it's serious. I mean, a lot of people just think, oh, it's untouchable. They think the unthinkable, that they're not coming after the NHS. They absolutely are. And you really seriously need to wake up, because once the integrated care systems are in place and there's 42 regions, they'll be given a pot of money, and a lot of the services will be farmed out to the private sector. They're not in it for our benefit. They're in it to make a profit. So once that money's gone, you're on the waiting list then for the next financial year. And we found in Warrington last year that Warrington General Hospital was trying to encourage interest-free loans to pay for hip replacements, knee replacements. They were thinking of charging up to £8,000 for one knee replacement. How ludicrous is that? Because in the long term, if someone gets a knee replacement, they're able to go back to work, they're able to pay the taxes and national insurance and contribute to society. So even just a handful of us, just a few people, got onto the national press, and that was snuffed out immediately. We can do this. We can absolutely do this. And when they say there's no money, of course there's money, like you've just already explained. All the money that's gone into track and trace, that would pay for our 15% pay rise for 9 years. You know, the NHS is hemorrhaging staff. It's up to 55,000 shortage of nurses and 110,000 shortage of allied health professionals. You know, there's no nurses, there's no care. You have to close bed. People seriously need to wake up and realize what is going on, get as angry as we are, because it's not just a pay rise, it's for patient safety as well. And while I'm on, can I just give a quick shout out to the Scottish student paramedics? They've just won the fight out for a £10,000 bursary every year. So keep on fighting, keep on going. We can do this.
Karen, you're honestly so inspirational. I was feeling a bit neutral today. You know, it's been a long week. There's been a lot going on, and just hearing you talking about the energy you have to keep fighting, because the way I see it is NHS pay, whether it's the nurse, the admin staff, or anyone in the NHS, their pay means I get a better healthcare, because it means that you're able to live life a lot easier. It means that you're able to live life, you know, just to a standard level, really. And if your life is good, that means you're able to do a good job. It means that you're happy, and it means that you're able to provide me with a really good service like you want to be able to, working in the NHS. And I think it's just better for everyone. And on top of that, forget whether you work in the NHS, anyone who's paid well, their money, like you said before about if you take out a loan because of a knee replacement, you know, if you have the right kind of pay coming in, you're putting your money back into the economy, and you're going to be making sure that there's money being spent. I just think it's a win-win-win all the way around. If it was the case where I had to pay a little bit more in my taxes so NHS staff could get paid more, I would do that. I know that that's not necessary though, because like we mentioned before, you know, well, HS2 is my biggest probably bugbear at the moment in regards to money, in that there's 104 billion pounds has been put aside for HS2. Meanwhile, NHS staff are working, you know, you hear stories of people just doing that extra hour, a couple of hours, where they're not even getting paid for the time. They're going into work early just to make sure that they're prepared, and they're not getting the time. Over the last year, I'm sure you're aware of this, more for the benefit of our viewers, but there's NHS staff who have not even been able to see their families. They've had to stay in hotels or bed sits, whatever it may be, so that they can protect everyone. And there's never been a more important time to look after our NHS staff. And I share your anger. And now I share your hope as well that you've given me even. And I really, really do hope it goes well. What are the like next steps that people can take as well? Obviously, head onto the website. I put it on the screen before. There's protests here. I don't know how many locations that is, but all across the UK. there are these protests happening. What are the next steps though from there? What do people need to be doing? Do they need to be writing to their MPs? Do they need to be getting in contact with their councils? Do they need to be writing to Sajid Javid? I nearly said the wrong name there. Sajid Javid. What are the extra things that people can be doing, especially if they can't make it this weekend to their local protest, or if they haven't got one nearby?
So Nurses United, what they're actually about, it started from frontline workers, because we just feel if we don't strike now or start campaigning now, we never will win anything. So basically, we are trying to encourage all healthcare workers to join a union and start to become active in the union and make sure that all their details are up to date. Because when it comes to the crunch, we are going for an indicative ballot for strike action, because that is the only way they will sit up and listen. You might not necessarily get that far, but you get a good turnout for a strike ballot, they might start to rethink their policies and sit up and listen. Because we know that we've got the public on our side. We know that with all the clapping. We know that with the numerous stalls that we hold outside hospitals. We've got the utmost respect, and we know if we went on strike, we'd have the public on our side.
Fantastic. And also, I thought it was great to see in the news today. I did have it in front of me, but it seems I've scrolled away from it. That there's a certain tennis player, Mr. Andrew Murray, has also come out today and slammed the government over the pathetic, it was his word he used. I thought that was nice of him to use that. But his pathetic NHS pay rise following his Wimbledon win. I think it's great to see that, we've actually got national celebrities, sports stars, people coming out in support of you. It's not just the public. It is way more than that. And I think the more that people talk about it, the more we hear people actually saying how terrible this is, the better for everyone. I was actually down by the beach the other day, and I heard the people at the burger van. They were having a conversation, and it was so lovely to hear the lady. She was saying, "Oh, it's terrible. I was waiting for this many hours." And the other one said, "Do you know what? I think they're doing this on purpose. I think they're trying to ground the NHS into the ground so that those Americans can come and buy it off us." And I thought, the message is getting across. The message is so it's thanks to people like you, Karen, doing all the work that you do to make sure that people know what's going on. Unfortunately, I am not in town on Saturday, but wherever I am, I'm going to have a look and see where there is a protest and see if I can get along and support it. And all the solidarity in the world. Next time you have something going on, any big protest, please do let us know. We will make sure to get you on the show. And I as a trade unionist, I know that no worker ever wants to go on strike. But I hope you do scare some dirty stuff out of their pants so that that government listen up. Or hopefully we could get a new government one time soon. I don't know. We can live in hope, can't we? But thanks so much for coming on the show tonight. I really appreciate it, and I hope everything goes well on Saturday. Is there anything else you wanted to say about the protest or what's happening this weekend before you go?
No, just to say that Dan Carden will be speaking on Saturday as well, along with Ian Byrne, and the Banner Theatre Company are coming to sing for us, taking time out of their camping holiday. So we really appreciate that, and we're really looking forward to a good turnout on Saturday.
Oh my! Do you know everyone's gonna be coming to the Liverpool one and forgetting the protests in their own towns now? They're all gonna want to come and see Danny and then the Banner Company. Oh, thank you so much, Karen. I hope you have a lovely evening, and hopefully I'll see you soon.
See you soon. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Wow. Do you know, that was inspiring? That was something special. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much to Karen. And thank you so much to all of our NHS workers. Every single person. My mum worked in the NHS. She came over here from Mauritius to work in the NHS, and she worked her butt off, and she loved the NHS. She wouldn't ever hear a bad word said about it. I remember we were in A&E. I think I'd hurt my thumb or something as a kid. I was like, why are these not taking so long? Being a grumpy little kid that just wanted to buy something out the sweets machine. And she said, shut up. They're working hard. You don't know what these people go through. And I always remember that because she knows. And I just think I have all the time in the world for them. Now, You heard it here. You know you can trust it. It is Bywire News, and this is on the Bywire. Please do check out our website, bywire.news. If you can hit that donate button, make sure you do, so that you can help be a part of owning the media, but also help us keep doing what we do, getting people like Karen a platform to be able to tell us what they're doing and talk about the different independent media news partners that we have covering all of the different stories. I'm not going to be around for 3 days because, well, the show isn't on for the next 3 days, but I will be back on Monday night at 9 p.m. We will have a jam-packed show for you, and we will continue through every night until Thursday at 9 p.m. Make sure you hit that like button, don't know to subscribe, don't know to follow, don't know to share, the retweet, all of them. Hit up the thing. You know what it is, people. Come on. My name is Dan Lewis. This is On The Bywire. Peace, love, and I will see you guys on the other side.